Bienvenidos a Charro Talk. Hoy de invitado tenemos a
Gastón Guitron, conocido como Gordo Guitron.
Isaac Martinez.
Buenas tardes, señores. ¿Cómo andan?
Bien, bien. ¿Y usted?
Bien. Gracias por tenernos en tu casa, Gordo.
Oh, yes, sir.
So,
Chiquita, pero mucho amor.
Bueno, como siempre empezamos, Isaac, ¿por qué nos platicas tu trayectoria? ¿Cómo es que te ingresaste a la charrería?
Pues yo empecé a los 12 años jineteando novillos, pero empezó primero, pues, mi papá era charro. Empezó acá en Los Ángeles. Empezó con la alteña, se me hace, y un año charreó con charros de Los Ángeles. Ya él hizo su equipo con sus hermanos, el equipo Asociación de Charros Los Compadres, y pues ahí empecé a charrear también a los 12 años.
Okay. Ahorita, este año, ¿con quién estás charreando?
Este año entré con el equipo de Hacienda del Valle de Don Juan Rodríguez, y pues nomás me tocó la suerte de jinetear yegua.
Okay. A ver, tú, Gordo, yo sé que tienes una larga trayectoria, pero antes de que platiques eso, ¿quién es este muchachón acá a tu lado?
Ilan Guitron, mi hijo. Saluda, Ilan.
Hola.
So, mi trayectoria viene de, pues yo creo mucho de los dos lados de mi familia. Del lado de mi papá, Víctor Guitron, era uno de los fundadores de la charrería aquí en Los Ángeles. El año, la verdad, no sé, pero sí sé que era uno de los primeros, él con varios más que pues he oído nombrar. No sé sus nombres. Y muchos también que conocen a mi abuelo Chuy, Jesús Pedrosa, que era también pues charro completo, jinete. Pues, andaba en la gira con Antonio Aguilar. Y pues sí, ahí vengo yo de los dos lados de mi papá y mi mamá, pues muy charros, la verdad. Y aquí andamos.
¿Tú a qué edad empezaste a charrear tú?
Yo empecé a charrear como a los 9, 10 años. Empezamos aquí un equipo de niños con Joel García, Manuel García, pues los que vivían aquí en el barrio, ¿verdad? Y tenía 11 años y de allí me fui con con Rancho Los Jiménez, un equipo que empezamos aquí también, pero ahí era ya pues equipo de grandes, y ahí andaba mi papá, Miguel Covarrubias y ¿quién más? Pues muchos, la verdad, y de allí pues empecé a crecer más y más en esto de la charrería.
Para los que no te conocen, ¿qué suerte estás ejecutando ahorita? ¿Y con quién equipo andas?
Ando con Rancho La Laguna. Ahorita hay dos, Rancho La Laguna USA y Rancho La Laguna nosotros, que somos de San Diego. Y ahorita ando yo haciendo colas y de vez en cuando jineteo la yegua.
¿O ya no estás de titular de yegua?
Ahorita pues agarramos un muchacho nuevo y sí es bueno el muchacho. Y yo más, ahí de vez en cuando me meten a jinetear. En las buenas, diré, ¿verdad? En las que cuentan. Pero ahí andamos ya más viejos, pero le seguimos echando ganas.
Oye, pues sí, ¿cuántos años tienes ya?
Ya tengo 31 años, voy para 31, ya estoy grande, ya viejo, pero todavía seguimos ahí echándole.
Porque cuando te conocí en Globe, ¿cuántos años tenías? Eso fue en el 2010, 10, right? 2010?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
10.
pues unos que... No, es mucho tiempo, ya no sé. No quiero decir, no sé ni cuántos años, la verdad. Unos 18, 19. Ni me acuerdo con quién charreé. Y ni me quiero acordar.
That was a fun nacional.
Yeah, it was.
¿Te ha tocado ir a Globe?
Al Globe no.
No. Para los que no saben, Globe es un lienzo. Bueno, no es un lienzo, es una arena americana, pero está en un reservación de los indios. Y está todo conectado y está una barra dentro de la arena. Y luego están, two hotels or two casinos?
A hotel and a casino, I think.
Oh, peda segura.
Yeah. Porque haz de cuenta que del hotel al lienzo was like a 5-minute walk, if that.
It was, yeah. There were a lot of stories we can't say right now on this podcast, but it was a good nacional, man. Pero así es, man.
What year was that?
2010.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even charreando yet.
¿No? ¿Cómo en qué año empezaste?
I think 2013. I didn't, honestly, when I was like 10, 11, I didn't even like horses.
¿No?
No. I think I got tired of my parents always putting me on, and I was like, I wanted to play guitar and be a rock and roller, dude. Terrible playing a guitar, by the way.
¿Y luego cómo es que te regresaste a la charrería?
Pues aún de repente un día iban a tener una charreada amistosa en el lienzo de mi tío. Y pues le llamé a mi primo. Dije, hey Pepe, deme chance de jinetear un toro. ¡Sas! No, yo mal vestido. Mi papá me prestó sus chaparreras y unas espuelas de ahí del montón y que la chingada. Pero ahí empecé y de ahí agarré vuelo.
Y ya no, porque ya no has dejado de jinetear, ¿verdad? Desde ese entonces.
Desde ese entonces empecé con los compadres del equipo de mi papá y mis tíos. Y me salí, se deshizo el equipo y me metí a una escuela infantil de charrería. Y luego un amigo, Miguelito de la Hoya, me invitó al equipo Charro del Pacífico en 2014, creo. Y pues de ahí agarré más confianza jineteando y me gustaba más y más. Y en 2015 me metí con el Bicentenario. Y ahí es donde me pagaron el primer año de charro pagado, me pagaron $100. Ya de ahí dije, cabrón, sí puedo sacar dinero, ¿eh? Nah, no creas.
Y luego tú, Gordo, ¿te acuerdas de todos los equipos que has estado?
Sí.
A ver, aviéntate la lista.
Empecé con Rancho Los Jiménez. Allí era equipo de grandes y la verdad, pues allí íbamos a practicar. Es un lienzo que está aquí abajito. Es uno de los lienzos que tiene ahorita. Pues antes era charro, pues sigue siendo charro el señor, pero ahorita ya puros caballos bailadores tiene. Pero ese lienzo, allí él tenía un equipo y mi papá, me acuerdo que salía a trabajar mi papá y me llevaba con 2 caballos mansos ahí al lienzo y me empezaba a hacer yo el paso a la muerte. Nomás nos íbamos yo y él y empezábamos paso a la muerte y no sé cómo salió que querían hacer un equipo charro y estaba aquí Miguel Covarrubias, su hijo, mi papá y entró mi tío Jorge un año también con nosotros y así empezó el equipo y yo empecé allí con ellos, pero todavía estaba chiquillo, unos 10, 11 años y me acuerdo que me empezaron con el paso a la muerte, mis 2 caballos mansos. Empecé a hacer el paso a la muerte y ya cuando me federaron, pues siempre me federaron, no hacía nada, nomás iba ahí de desfile, ida y vuelta. Y ya me empezaron a meter a colear y coleaba. Y ese era un equipo, Rancho Los Jiménez. De allí me fui con Hacienda La Villa, con el señor Pony Sánchez, que es muy buen amigo de nosotros, pues de la familia. Me fui con él y andaba allí mi amigo, pues Georgie Espinosa. Y allí empecé, el Georgie estaba chiquillo y aunque lo crean o no, yo era el manganeador del equipo. Sí.
No.
Y muchos no creen o no. Y sí, pues sí es verdad, yo manganeaba y coleaba, jineteaba y muchos dicen, tú no sabes manganear. Y la verdad, pues no, que no sepa, pero pues a mí no me atrae la soga, ¿no? ¿Verdad? Ese fue Hacienda La Villa. De Hacienda La Villa me fui con Rancho del Villar. Fue el primer equipo que pues ya... Pepe Covarrubias me dio también la oportunidad. Yo le doy las gracias a Pepe porque también, pues él fue el que me empezó ya a llevar ya torneos más grandes. Pues con él sí era, la verdad, un buen equipo. Rancho del Villar, que era en el 2011, se me hace que empecé con ellos en aquel tiempo, Rancho del Villar. Y allí Pepe, pues yo me aventaba toro, llevo y paso por muchos años con Pepe y con Pepe, no sé, se deshizo Rancho del Villar. Y es cuando Pepe formó el equipo Rancho Génesis. Y allí me fui con Rancho Génesis. Tuvimos, pues también varios años estuve con ellos. Y pues muy buen equipo era. Con Pepe, Borrado, Emilio, todos ellos. Y pues allí también duré varios años en toro, llevo y paso, toro, llevo y paso. Y me acuerdo que yo le dije a Pepe, si me voy contigo de jinete, yo quiero las 3 jineteadas, no quiero, ¿verdad? Nomás toro, yegua, quiero toro, yegua y paso. Y pues sí, se me hizo y Pepe me dio pues la oportunidad siempre de toro, yegua y paso. Y de allí, no sé qué, nomás les di las gracias en el 2013, se me hace, o 14, no me acuerdo en qué año. Y de ahí me fui con a Charro de Los Ángeles, con Alex Gómez, Alessandro Gómez, la momia, como lo conocen, la momia. Y también duré allí, ¿sabe qué? Un año nomás. Y también era buen equipo, traíamos buen equipo. Y ese era Charro de Los Ángeles. De allí me fui con la Noria, la familia López, que también allí duré 3 años, se me hace 3 o 4 años. Y ese fue otro equipo, la Noria. Y de allí me fui otra vez con Hacienda La Villa, con Pony, con el señor Pony. Y allí ya nomás colas y yegua, jinetear la yegua. Y de ese año, duré como 2 o 3 años con ellos esta última vez. Y el año pasado me fui con Rancho La Laguna, que es de San Isidro, con el amigo Ramón Jara. Con él, y este año sigo igual con él. Y ahí andamos, y la verdad en los equipos, pues que en los que han dado, pues han sido buenos equipos. Y no son varios, pero pues en los que han dado les he dado mi corazón y siempre le he echado todas las ganas que se merecen, ¿verdad? Así.
¿Y eso que le habías pedido, las 3 más peligrosas? ¿O las 3
No sé,
jineteadas?
pues es que tenían ya el equipo, pues eran ya Emilio, Borrao y Pepe coleaban. Y pues Pepe me daba chance de colear de vez en cuando, pero pues si no iba a hacer nada más, yo quería perder mis 3 suertes. Y siempre le pedía pues toro, yegua y paso, ¿verdad? Y muchos no. Y me las daba, pues que me iba a pelear las suertes. Nadie pelean todo menos las jineteadas, pues yo me las chingo.
Me acuerdo de haberlo visto en el 2014 cuando andaba con Genesis en el Nacional de aquí de Pico Rivera, y le tocó un toro de lidia de Neto Gutiérrez, un toro gateado de lidia, y le metió, salió dando vueltas, y de ahí lo vi y dije, cabrón,
Yo recuerdo esa jineteada que estaba un equipo de Texas. Y estaba en el clásico nacional. ¿Sabes qué era el clásico?
No, fue el nacional.
Nacional. Y sí me acuerdo de ese toro. Un toro, era de lidia, gateado. Y me acuerdo que le tocó a un equipo de Texas. ¿Sabes qué era el equipo? Norteños de Houston. Y le tocó ese toro. Y me acuerdo que Donaldo se enojó, pues porque le tocó muy buen toro, ¿eh? Y me acuerdo que pues no le reclamó, pero le dijo a Pepe, no manches, nos tocó un buen toro. Y le dijo a Pepe, no, pues Pepe, no, pues perdón, están sorteados, ¿verdad? O lo que sea. Y no, pues que les toque a ustedes en la final, pues. Y entramos a la final ese año, yo me acuerdo. Y Pepe me volteó a ver y le hace, ¿qué? ¿Le subes? Y me acuerdo que le dije, pues ni modo rajarme, ¿verdad? Pues sí. Y sí me tumbó, pero pues sí salió muy, muy bueno el toro. Todavía recuerdo ese día. Y la verdad, pues quisiera ser joven todavía para poder regresar a volver a jinetear como... Pues la verdad es lo que me gusta jinetear a mí. Ya ahorita ya de grande no me da ya miedo, pero sí me pongo pues ya a pensar en mi hijo, ¿verdad? Ya ahorita ya no es lo mismo. Antes sí la verdad jineteaba y pues no pensaba pues en otras cosas más que jinetear y pues, ¿verdad? Y ahorita ya sí le pienso en lastimarme y no poder, pero... Ahí andamos todavía.
Yo cuando echaba las 3 suertes, es cuando yo apenas estaba empezando. Y en el 2016, cuando se metió con la Noria, yo me metí con Hacienda del Valle. Y fue ahí donde empezó el circuito de excelencia. Y ahí es donde me topé con él. Y le empecé a preguntar, hey, ¿cómo jinetea las yeguas? Y que la chinga, pues yo no... Nunca me enseñaron, pues, y le preguntaba. Creo que se enfadó y sí me platicó varias cosas, y pues ya de ahí agarré vuelo con ese equipo Hacienda del Valle, y pues ese año eché las 3 suertes de todo el año, quise hacer como mi amigo acá, pero nomás duré un año.
No, la verdad, sí. Antes sí... Pues en ese tiempo cuando andaba con Genesis y con esos equipos, sí era... Tenía más disciplina, pues, ¿verdad? Corría, hacía ejercicio. Y todavía lo hago con... Pues cuando voy a jinetear lo hago con todo el corazón, ¿verdad? A mí me gusta. Pero pues antes, la verdad, sí lo tomaba... Pues como más trabajo, ¿verdad? Hacía ejercicio. Y ahorita, la verdad, pues trabajo, salgo de trabajar y pues, me echo una cerveza ahorita, ¿verdad? Ya. Pero antes, cuando estaba más joven, la verdad, sí le echaba... Pues todavía digo, pero antes sí era más como... Yo quería ser el mejor y la verdad, ¿verdad? Y es lo que yo quería. Si yo iba a hacer algo, yo quería ser el mejor en lo que estaba haciendo, no más, ¿verdad?
Yo recuerdo una vez que andaba por acá, vine acá nomás a echar parranda y estábamos en la casa de tu mamá, no recuerdo dónde. Era cerca de aquí.
Sí, aquí con mi mamá, yo
Y
creo.
tenías un caballo blanco, si no recuerdo, que tú y tu hermano lo hacían, que se paraba de manos para practicar.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that, porque me quedé, chinga, no sé que los jinetes pueden practicar.
No,
Aparte de trabajar caballos a pelo.
es lo que yo hacía mucho, la verdad, sí montaba pelo mucho y me acuerdo que mi papá me regañaba. ¿Por qué sales a pelo? Sal en sí al caballo, sal con una soga y ponte a florear. Y la verdad, pues no me gusta. Sí me gusta, pero pues es que no tengo paciencia, la verdad, para la soga. Y me desespero pero pues sí, la verdad.
¿Tu papá qué suerte se hacía?
Yo nunca lo llegué a ver jinetear a mi papá, pero muchos dicen que sí. He ido a México, a su pueblo, y muchos dicen que sí, era muy bueno para jinetear. Yo cuando charreaba con el equipo él pialaba y coleaba, pero pues muchos no charreó mucho tiempo aquí. Pero sí, cuando tenían un equipo, la Tapatía, que era el equipo de él, pues no de él, pero andaba en un equipo con mi tío Jorge, mi tío Salvador, Jorge Pedrosa. Él era el pialador del equipo y sí, la verdad sí pialaba. Y ahorita lo que le importa es ver a mí, a mi hermano charrear. Pues ya desde los últimos años que ya empezamos a charrear nosotros de planta, no le importó ya de él puso todo para nosotros. Pero pues sí era charro. Muchos piensan que lo agarramos por el lado de mi abuelo Jesús Pedrosa, no, que es el papá de mi mamá. Pero mi papá pues sí era charro. Y su papá, mi abuelo Víctor Guitron, también era pues charro. Nomás no tan conocido como mi abuelo Jesús Pedrosa.
Yo creo que vi a tu papá colear en Globe. Creo que ese año. Cuando andaba con Jaime Ambrosio, ¿no?
Yeah.
¿verdad?
Pues con ese equipo charré en Globe ese año.
¿Ese año?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, con mi cuñado Jaime Ambrosio. And man, that was a good time.
Damn, I'm too young for that, dude.
Yeah,
¿Cuántos años hiciste?
24.
Oh, shit. Yeah, sí, te ganamos por mucho.
yeah.
You should tell them how we met in the truck.
So we could say that story. I'll say it, but so we were in Nacional. Sí era Nacional en Globe, ¿verdad?
Yeah, fue Nacional 2010.
We were in Globe, and I think the beer curfew over there was I don't know if it's the same as here.
I don't remember. I think it was like 10 or something.
I think it was earlier than
It was
here.
early.
So éramos we were leaving the lienzo, me acuerdo. It's a crazy story.
Estábamos en los caballerizos,
We
I
were at
remember.
the stalls, we were drinking. I was young and dumb. Y ahorita ya no estoy, I'm not young anymore. Nah, just kidding, no. So we were there, and I remember we were drinking. It was us, the Scamillas, Octavio Islas, which was he's one of my good friends. And we were drinking at the horse stalls, and I think we ran out of beer and no sé qué. And it was after the charreada, and Nacional, and I was like 18, 19. So we went we stopped at a store to try to buy some beer. And I remember that it was already past the curfew. So me and Agustin walked in, and we walked straight into the beer section. And the lady looks at us, and she's like, "You guys can't buy beer." And me and Agustin just walked right past her. Like, we didn't even, we just grabbed the beer.
We tried paying her, but she didn't want to.
And
You're
then
just like, fucking...
yeah, and we were like, we looked at each other, and I was the first one to run out the door with the beer. So I ran out the door, and my friend Octavio was already in the truck, like right in the front of the door. So we threw the beers in the back, and we jumped in. And it was, we started driving down the freeway, I remember. And I don't remember who was with us that got up. I think he got up and he had his charro hat on. His charro hat flew out the truck. And that was a good time, man. After that, cops showed up to the hotel, I think. Yeah, I remember that they showed up in Octavia. I was young. I was underage and I was probably drunk at the time. I don't know. But, yeah, man.
Oh, wait, that was the same Nacional that I think Emilio had the banda and we were going on the floor. We were taking the banda from one room to another.
Probably.
Was it that Nacional or was it Porterville?
That was Porterville, probably. Porterville was a good Nacional. But Porterville was when I was with yeah, it probably was because when I was with Hennessy, with Emilio and Pepe and all them. But
that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
No, en aquellos tiempos, pero ya, o sea, ya, hablando ya más de lo que estabas platicando, lo de ejercicio, ¿cómo es que decidiste ser tan responsable, tan dedicado?
Antes, pues digo, sí. Todavía ahorita ya la verdad, pues ya la charrería, pues me encanta, you know, I love it. But pues right now we all have, you know, grow up and you have more responsibilities. You got to go to work. Pero antes, pues then I would have to go to work, but I was younger and like I said, man, I wanted to be the best, so I always did the most to you know. I remember that at Avelinos, there was a lienzo right here, it's still there. It belongs to the Corrals now, Alex Corral and all them. Un lienzo que está aquí. Yeah. Before that, it used to belong to Don Avelino Yáñez, and they used to have charreadas there like every Sunday. Y siempre eran los mismos equipos casi. Charros de la Loma. I don't know, it's like some other teams. Hacienda El Maguey, I remember. It was like 3 teams every Sunday. They would charrear right there. And I remember I would go and I would ride for every team. Toro, like 3 bulls, 3 mares. Every Sunday, like that's what I wanted to do, you know? I remember my dad would get mad at me, like, haz algo más, no seas menso, you know? And that was just my thing, like, you know? I thought I was good at it you know, so I wanted to keep doing it. And I mean, I always, like, I used to go running. Now I'm, you know, I work. Nobody wants to go do nothing after work, you know. But back then, I was very disciplined, I guess I could say. Like, I would just go jogging after work at nights, go jogging, do sit-ups, and that's it, you know. And I was in shape, you know. That's what you need to be I mean, the way I see it, to be a jinete, you got to be in shape, you know. You just can't, like me, like, now I ride horses every day, but it's not the same as working out, staying active. You know, you gotta do something, keep that cardio up.
Were you lifting weights too?
No, I never lifted weights. No, I did sit-ups, and at work, I mean, I've always had like a hands-on job. So like, I mean, 8 hours of work of what I do, it's like a pretty good workout, you know. It's like 8 hours of just nonstop. And then after work, you know, cardio, but like weights, I never lifted weights. And I've tried, but it's just not for me. Like I get bored, you know, like, you know. Pero I don't think you need to be strong to ride, to bull ride, or to do none of that. I don't think you have to be a big guy. You just got to have a good center of balance, I guess. You know, that's the way I see it. And with all respect, I think you just got to have some big balls to do it. Honestly, that's what I see it. Big balls and a good heart, you know. And that's what like everybody always asks me, or kids, hey, what do you do, like, to do this and to ride? And like, I don't know what to tell them because I don't have a special technique, you know?
I was one of those kids.
And Isaac would always ask me, like, hey, what do I do? And I mean, I don't know what to tell him because, like I said, I don't have a technique of how I ride. I just ride the way my dad and my grandpa would always tell me, you know? And that was always just, I remember they would tell me, siéntate en los huevos and look at the bull's head, and wherever that goes, you follow it. And that's, you know, that's always gone like a long way with me, at least, you know. But nobody ever showed me how to. My dad, he would tell me how. My dad would take us to Jimenez, and I remember we would go with the Garcias, Manuel, Joel Garcia. And honestly, well, our dads would get drunk, and they would put in little cebu cows, and you guys are gonna ride. And we were younger, you know, we were probably like, I don't know, 10, 11. And I remember we would tell one another, well, you ride her first, and then I'll ride it after, like, to see what she does. And it was always like that. Like, I'm not gonna say it, like, back then I was never scared, because yeah, I was scared. Like, you know, I remember I'd cry. My dad would make me ride, and I would cry because I didn't want to. But I mean, once I started like riding, I liked it, and it was like, you know, now honestly, I'm not, like I said, I'm not scared of, you know, like, yeah, now they put in these big mares and everything, and I mean, they're they don't scare me, honestly. I worry, like, yeah, they're big, you know, and they're big bucking horses, but they don't scare me. Like, I get more scared when I see a kid that's gonna ride that I know he's probably gonna, like, you know, get hurt. I get worried. Like, I'm like, fuck, man, are you sure? And I'm there at the chutes helping him, and I'm like, oh man. And like, my brother's one of them, my brother Manuel. He's a good rider, but I don't know. I think he's just too big. He's too long, like long legs, long arms, like lanky, you know. And I get nervous for him when I see him ride, you know. And I'm like, Manuel, like, do this, and I try to tell him, but it's different. I mean, I guess it's different.
Sí, porque su cuerpo es diferente.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just think Manuel's too big. He's like 6 feet tall, and like his legs and arms are like, you know. So that's, I don't know.
¿Qué tips te pasó, Gordo?
Exactly what he just said, you know, just siéntate en los huevos, follow the head. Y en las yeguas,
what I tell the kids is, like, I see a lot of kids that try to ride mares with their arms straight, you know.
Es que esa era la antigua.
And I mean, I've never ridden like that. Like, I ride with, you know, like, that's how you have to ride. I've seen, you know, like, you bend your elbows, you know, like, sit right. And I see kids, once a kid comes out like this, like, he's either scared or he just doesn't know what he's doing, you know. And if you don't know what you're doing, with Mikey's mares, Crown 7 mares, that's not a place to be experimenting, you know what I mean? Like, if you're there, it's because you're there to ride, or you know, or they're just throwing you in. But I don't think it's fair for kids that don't know what they're doing to just show up and try to ride one of those mares, you know, because Mikey does have some of the best.
I think what happened with that is before, like when I first started charreando, they used to put in, you know, small mares or netos mares. They were bigger, but they weren't, you know, rodeo mares by any means. And I think a lot of jinetes, you know, not to talk shit, but they're like, oh man, like I could ride whatever, you know. And then once Michael started putting in his broncs, then they were like, whoa, that's too much. And it's like, are you trying to be competitive? Or?
Pues es lo mismo con los toros. ¿Cuántos años no nos habíamos mal acostumbrado a puro cuernudo? Until the last, what, like 3-4 years. When ustedes acá en el sur, like the last 4 or 5 years, started big bulls. Ya apenas, I'm going to say this is probably the second or the third year where they start ya metiendo toros más grandes. But before it was just puro pinche cuernudo.
¿De reparo o de colas?
No, de reparo.
No, de reparo, sí. Y no, y eso hasta que los toros que mete Mikey no son toros así. He takes like
no son jugados.
He takes his like, you know, like high junior bulls, and you see him and they're like, oh, damn, these bulls are, you know, imagine he takes his like top of the line stuff.
Those are just like 3-year-old bulls.
And I remember like they used to invite me to go ride at the fairs. And I used to ride at the fairs.
That one jineteada with
I got another story.
They invited me like a lot of times. And I remember, I mean, at that time, it was like, oh, we'll give you $200. And I was like, or I would go ride at Pico. Like, honestly, at Pico, like, yeah, there's going to be a concert and they're going to have a jaripeo. Like, come ride bulls. And I would honestly go ride at the concert just so I could get in free. Just so I could, you know, fuck, we're going to give you $100, you know, or $80. I think I remember they used to pay us like $80 to ride a bull or a mare. I would like, fuck, you know, who cares? As long as I get in free to the Arrolladora concert or whatever. Y por eso iba, pero pues jineteaba. And like I said, man, whenever I would do it, I've always done it, you know, like to stay on and not just to, you know, give a show. Like I'll ride something, it's because I want to stay on it, you know. I'm not just doing it just to you know, so.
Just to get a buckle or the Instagram picture.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of jinetes like that.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing now, like, I really don't, like with these mares, there's only a handful of counted jinetes that could stay on them, and you know, I mean, if one stays on and just stays on by just holding on, I don't, you know, it's hard. Like if you stay on and you make it look good, well, that's the difference that makes, you know, a jinete and someone that just wants to ride and, you know, holds on because he's scared, you know, like if anybody, like if he rides a mare and he stays on her, but he's spurring her, that's the way, like, all right, well, this guy knows what he's doing, you know, that's, you know, so.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But at the fairs, I remember that they invited me to the fairs a lot of times, and I still remember a jineteada. I remember the yegua, actually, her number was T11, a big alazana.
That was in Ventura, I remember.
Was it the one where they recorded you from the shoots? Sale y se levanta.
Yeah, like that, straight up. Yeah, that one. And I remember I rode that one. The first time I rode her was in Orange County. And I rode her, and it was when those pretales de grapa first came out. I don't know, not the grapas with the cincho, but the grapas...
with the knot.
Yeah, with the knot. Yeah. So I remember those had just came out. And I had I don't know whose it was, but it was probably even mine, but it was a good grappa, like, and I remember that they put it on, and the guys, like, well, it was Kyle Rosser, the Flying U rodeo, you know, and they never want to see a Mexican, you know, stay on or do something. So I remember that grappa, they put it on, and it was like my first time riding with it, and it was a big mare, like the ones Mikey puts in, you know. And then he put her in, and he goes, oh, you got that T11 mare. And I was, all right, cool, like, whatever, you know. And le pusimos el pretal de grappa, and it was like my first time riding with it. And I was like, damn, let's see, you know. And I remember she came out like really good. I was like, probably for me, that's one of the best rides I've ever had. You know, a lot of people say it's the TJ ride. And for me, honestly, the TJ ride it was good, but not to the point, like, I wish that mare that I rode at the fair would have been like a charreria mare, because that mare bucked, man. That one was like, damn.
Do you know which one he's talking about?
I know exactly which one.
So that was the one time I rode her, and then I went.
I forgot about that when we were talking about it the other day.
Yeah, and then they invited me to Ventura también.
That's where I saw it.
And they told me, hey, we're gonna the same guy. I don't know, I forgot his name.
Probably Bronc.
What was his name? A dark guy. He's like Kyle Rosser's right hand man. He was in charge of
Miko.
I think
Julio's
it was
brother.
Yeah,
Julio Moreno.
Guy. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, his brother.
And I remember he came up to me and was like, hey, kid, we're going to throw in that T11 for you again, see if you could stay on her again. And he's like, let me see your spurs though. And I remember I showed him my spurs, and I always ride with mares. I ride with my spurs as long they could turn, you know, that they could turn.
Con la rodaja abierta.
Yeah. So I showed him. He was all right. And he put her in. I remember my dad went with me that time. And he put her in, and the same thing with that pretal de grappa. It's actually very, like, I wish you could ride those mares that Mikey puts in now with that pretal de grappa, because it really, your wrist, you know, gasa on those mares, fuck, man, it hurts your wrist, you know. But, I mean, it is what it is. They have their thing. But I remember I rode her, and I stayed on her again. And then he came up to me, and he was like, man, like, you could ride, you know. And, oh, thanks, you know. And I'm always humble. Like, I'm never going to, you know, like, give nobody a smart remark or nothing. Y así me dijo, and he's like, oh, you could ride, kid. No, thanks. Y así quedó. Y también a eso, like, I would just go ride for the money, honestly. Like, they would pay me, 100, I don't know what it was, 150 bucks, yeah. You know, and fuck, you ride on a Sunday and then go work on a Monday. That's hard, you know. So así quedó. And I was like, after that, I mean, they stopped inviting me. They never invited me no more. Like, it was after, I think it was after that ride. Like, they just never called me no more to go.
¿No es porque te le quedaste?
Probably. Or I don't know, because I went a lot of times. I went a lot of times to ride, and honestly, I always stayed on the mares. And on the bulls, sí jineteaba toros. Y los toros, la verdad, pues sí. On bulls sí me caía. Los toros sí me tumbaban. Pero en las yeguas, la verdad, at the rodeos right there, I always stayed on them. And then 8 seconds, you know, like, it's hard when you got to stay on them until they stop. You know, you get tired, but right there, it was hard. Pero yeah, the TJ ride's the one you were asking me about. That was with Charro de Los Angeles in El Fronterizo in Tijuana. I think that was in 2014.
It was that long ago?
No, it was 15.
Yeah. 15?
15.
Oh, it was 15.
Because 14 you rode T11.
Yeah. So it was 2015, I remember, in El Fronterizo.
Damn, I keep better track of his rides.
I remember that day, my cousin Heraclio, he's my cousin, he's my dad's brother's son. He was gonna ride that mare. And I remember the guys in the back were like kind of talking smack on him, like, this kid's gonna fall, you know, this kid's gonna fall. And I remember I told my cousin, hey, let me ride, I'll ride her. And también with that pretal de grappa, the one I'm telling you about. And then, pues yeah, you know, I didn't even like get ready or nothing. I was helping my cousin apretalar, and I heard the guys in the back like, oh, this mare bug's gonna drop this kid right now. And I was just like, honestly, that one I just did do it to prove a point, you know, because everybody always thinks, they're from California or whatever, like, you know, they can't ride. So I told my cousin, I'll ride her, you know. And I remember he told me, you ride her, you know, all right. So I rode her, and pues sí reparó, la verdad, that she did buck. And it was I remember my wife was pregnant with Ilan, and it was 2015 because she was still pregnant, and I rode that mare, and that was a good ride. That was a good ride. I wish I could, like I said, be young again, man, because I'd do it all over again. But it is what it is, man. To get older, you know.
What was your favorite ride so far? ¿Te acuerdas?
Shit. My favorite ride.
Y todavía te faltan muchos años.
No, dude, I'm done.
Yeah?
He's retiring. I don't know why.
I tore my ACL this past week at Circuito Excelencia.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's what I have.
Finished
I have a torn ACL and torn meniscus and MCL. And I still ride. Every time I ride, I use a whole row of duct tape on my knee, but I don't know if it works, but it feels good.
It looks like a dryer vent on his leg, dude.
Yeah, dude, I put a lot of duct tape on it. And it sucks, but I mean, like, I want to get surgery, but it's like a 6-month recovery, you know, and I can't do that.
Can't stop, won't stop. That's the mentality. But my favorite ride, I think, would be the Cheque Peña concert right here in Pico.
The mayor?
The Palomina from Cristobal de la Cruz.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. That was fun. And that was with the grapas de cincho, dude. The old school ones.
Grapas.
But I remember that day, Gordo invited me. Hey, there's gonna be a Cheque Peña concert at Pico. Come over and ride. And I was like, who's taking the mares? Oh, fucking Cristobal de la Cruz. I was like, all right. And they were telling me that mare bucked. And I was like, oh, let me ride her then. I was like, all right. And Michael was there. Michael was Reza. And then I think he put the grappa on, and that mare just blew up. Same thing, Lucidora. And I think that's where he got,
The best ride I seen you do or was gonna do was at, when was it? Last year, no? Clásico? The one Palomazo record. I'm sure you've seen the video.
Yeah.
The one of that mare that comes out
what are you
of the
talking about? It counted.
Did it?
Yeah. 828.
No, the other one, the little paint one.
The Sabina.
I don't know. It was a badass ride though.
Dude, and esa sí estaba fea, güey. Because I was face planting the whole time.
That was a good ride,
Traías un sombrero chocolate, right? Or no?
No.
Wait, no, I'm confusing.
Gris piteada. No, that's the other guy. There's like, I think there was 3 Sabinas that looked alike. That one's El Clásico. That's the horse's name.
El Clásico. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's the guy that ate shit. Yeah. I don't know who it is, but that was a badass mare, dude.
Yeah, Mikey has some,
rank stuff.
I'm surprised Jinetes still want to get on his mares.
I don't think they have a choice, man. Once you're there, like, if you're in a team and that's your suerte, like, you can't say, hey, I'm not going to ride her. Or you could fake it right there in the cajon. But, I mean, I'd rather eat shit than do that.
Yeah, like the first year he put him into Clásico was 21. And a lot of jinetes just popped their hands out, Oh, she pulled my hands out. And I was like, I don't know, dude. It looks like you let go to me, but, Again, I'm not trying to talk shit, but yeah, there was a lot of
You can't, man. I mean, you can't talk smack to nobody. I mean, I do. I mean, playing around, but...
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, like I said, if you're there, it's because you're there for a purpose, You're there because you're going to do it or you're not, And for me, like... I mean, I've never, honestly, like, yeah, I've gotten paid, like, the last couple of years to ride and everything, but I don't do it for the, like, I don't just ride for the money. Like, I could easily say I don't want to get paid and I won't ride no more. I ride because, I love it. Like, I want to, like, when I ride a mare, it's like, I hope you buck, and if you drop me, I hope it's worth, like, if I fall, make sure it's, I want to fall off something good, not just something that comes out. And like, I do it because I love riding. I really do love jineteando. That's, I'm older now. I'm going to be 31. I'm already older and it sucks because I think of all the good times, good rides and everything. I'm like, damn, man, I never thought time came by this fucking quick, and now I'm already 31 and it's like, Garth Brooks said, Bronx are getting fucking strong. Like, like, it's like, damn, man. But it is what it is, I'm be 31 actually in 2 weeks, in a week when we're in Vegas. So I'm going to be 31 already. That's old, man. That's 9 years away from 40.
¿Y has visto la maña que tiene también con las yeguas que las jalaba hacia abajo? ¿O que las jalaba hacia adelante? Or was it a bull that you pulled down? No, I think it was a bull. You pulled down with the horns.
Yeah. That was, I see those videos, man, and it's like, damn, man, I wish I could.
Well, for anyone who hasn't seen the video, talk about what happened at Jineteada.
So that was at Pico with Hennessy, too. I think it was Nacional. I don't remember what it was.
I think it was an aniversario.
Well, it was something. Y la verdad, sí llegué crudo ese día a charrear. Y me tocó ese toro. Y pues la verdad era un toro pues chiquito, ¿no? He wasn't big, it was a little steer de colas probably, pero sí, Neto siempre tenía ganado que sí reparaba, chiquito, pero sí reparaba. And I remember I got there, I got on that bull with the bull rope, a little bull rope, And the bull came out, started bucking. Y no sé, se me la dio, you know? And I hear everybody in the background, hey, like making fun of me, you know? Y ya iban los cuernos, dude. I remember que iban los cuernos, and like, hell no, dude. Like, that's me, man. If I could do anything to drop something, I'm gonna drop it. Like, you know, in mares, I've done it in mares, in paso. Like, if I there's a way I could hold on to it, dude, I'll hold on to it as long as I could. And that bull had me at the horns, and I remember I was like facing the dirt. My hat was all fucking Pancho Villa style, and I was on the dirt, and Pepe and Borrado, and everybody was yelling, túmbalo, túmbalo. They didn't have to tell me, like, I already knew what I was gonna do. So I grabbed it for the horns. The bull's like fighting me off, and I dropped them, you know. And I sat back on him, you know, and I sat down on him, and when the bull was just laying there, I got off. And they counted the ride. I remember they counted the ride. And you know, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And then, like, now I look at it and I look at the videos and I'm like, damn, man, that's stupid. You know? Like in Paso too, in Paso La Muerte.
I'll tell you about that one Paso at Pico too.
Was it Texas? In Texas. In El Paso. I think that was Nacional with Hennessy. We didn't make it to I think it was Zacatecas. Yeah, it was Zacatecas that year.
Oh, there was Canutillo then, 2012.
Yeah, Canutillo, that one. And I remember, too, I was with Hennessy. I did a Paso, too. And I still have that video, man. I wish I had that video in like a DVD, because I remember I jumped to that it was a mare, and I jumped from far. And I don't know if I landed on her. No, I don't remember, but I landed on her good, and she stopped. And I just grabbed her from the neck, and I dropped her, and I got back on her, you know, and I stayed on her, and I think that's when people started like, oh,
porque te iba empinando.
Yeah, she was dropping me, but I remember like I just wrapped my legs around her neck and I dropped her, and I stayed on her, you know. But then I look at that too, and I'm like, damn, you're dumb. You know, like, why you do that? But I mean, that's where you separate the men from the boys, I guess.
That's where you grit it out. That
you know, you have to, and you know, don't let go till your head hits the ground, I guess, you know?
I remember he used to tell me that, yeah.
Y ese lienzo está bien peligroso como es de piedra. Have you ever been to that lienzo?
No, I've never been to that one.
Yeah. It's de piedra, so that one's dangerous. That's probably a lienzo you shouldn't do that shit.
Man,
that's when you don't think about it, but that's the best thing, you know? That happened to me at Pico for an estatal when I was with Hacienda del Valle in 2016. Metimos una yegua de manganas pa'l Paso. No repara. All right. Bien confiado, and I jump, and dude, first thing head hits the ground, and I slide all the way to the neck, and I crossed my legs around her neck, and I was hanging facing up, and she stops because she's like, what the hell? And I climb back on, y siguen arreando. And dude, I was like, oh, how the hell did I even do that?
I mean, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but my mom is like my number one fan. You could hear her through banda, mariachi, like, you'll hear her, and that's what, like, I think makes me hold on, because if I let go, she'll be like, what the hell, you know, instead of being mad, like, or being worried, she'll be like, why'd you fall? And she's always been like that, you know. She's always been our number one fan, and you know, that's a lot of, like, you know, her and my kid and my wife, that's the thing that, you know, makes it want to keep going, I guess.
I feel like your dad worries more than your mom.
My dad worries, but he won't tell us, and he's told me, he's asked me, or he's told people, like, I don't see Gordo get scared, like, when he rides, you know, and I don't get scared. Like, I never used to get scared. I don't get scared now. I just, like I said, I get worried, you know, like, you start thinking about other stuff, you know, like, fuck, I gotta work tomorrow. What if I get hurt or something, you know? And my dad, he'll be there. Like, when we were younger, he would be there a lot to help us in the shoots, you know. And now he's like, he doesn't really. He'll just sit back. And I remember Ociel, I don't know if you know little Ociel, Hennessy's jinete.
Ociel, Salamanca.
That guy's a good rider, little Ociel, he's a good bull rider. And last time we were at a charreria, and I asked him, hey, you need help or something? He's like, nah. He's like, just sit back and enjoy the ride. That's what he told me. So that's like kind of what my dad does now. He just sits back and, like, you know, he'll just enjoy it. And if, you know, he gets happy. He doesn't show his happiness, but he likes it, man. He loves seeing us ride. And now that, you know, that's the beauty of it.
One thing that your mom told me, she was like, you know what? other than my 2 kids, you're my favorite jinete. And I was like, damn, dude, that means a lot. Tell him that. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, she did tell. I remember that.
Gordo got a little jealous. No,
she's really into charreria, like hard.
Yeah, my mom's in, man. And if you guys ever need charro clothes, I think Pink Horse is pretty the place to.
Las veces que he platicado con ella, sí, sabe mucho. Dude.
She
like,
does,
she's
man.
Muy apasionada.
Yeah,
dude.
she loves charreria. Even like, she'll be at a charreada, man. Like from the day one to it finishes. You know, she loves that.
My parents used to, well, when I was younger, I didn't really have a license or anything, but my parents used to take me to charreadas every time. And then once I got my license, everyone was like, "Oh, where's your parents? Where's your support?" And I was like, "Oh, I gotta bring them now, dude. I forgot." Yeah, my mom's the same way. She's diehard charreria fan too. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, and my mom's is gabacha, and she was. Yeah. Oh. She was born in King City. I think she lived in Mexico 10 years. And that's where she got her first horse, which was a donkey. She saved up her lunch money. 50 pesos bought her a donkey when she was little.
You never seen his mom?
No.
His mom is actually like really diehard.
Yeah, she's a badass dude. Arrenda caballos y todo.
Oh, sí?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
All of her horses are trained by her only. Yeah.
Oh, really? How'd your dad meet her?
Actually, it's a funny story. They lived a mountain across from each other in Mexico, but they never met in Mexico. They actually met up here at a charreada, of course. And I'm not sure of the exact story. I don't know if they tell me the truth or not. So, but yeah, they met up here, and my dad, he was like, "Holy shit! Like she's arrenda caballos, and she's really into charreria, and she's some white lady. You don't expect it." But yeah, she's really culturally, she's 100% Mexican. Yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah,
that's super cool. It's kind of rare, but there's a few out there.
There's a handful. There's a handful, but she was like, back then there wasn't many white chicks that are like, hey, I want to do charreria and arrendar horses, a la rienda charra, not Western or anything. And yeah, she just fell in love with the whole sport and the culture and everything.
Y las veces que han ido a rodeos americanos, ¿qué les han dicho los güeros de las jineteadas, ustedes dos?
Well, they don't see it the same because we ride 2 hands and all that,
They look at us like we're like not as good as them.
I remember they took me to Texas once to go ride for
stock show.
I forget, it was in Fort Worth. Yeah, Fort Worth Stockyard Shores. I don't remember what it was, but they took me out there, and over there they were like very. It's not the same, as here. Over there, it's like more like, oh, you ride 2 hands or this and that, and it's like, you're leaving? All right, good night.
Ya se va el invitado.
But yeah, Texas, that was a good one over there, and
I remember the first time I rode at a rodeo. It was in Ventura. It was the year after he rode T11, and I was 17, and I lied because you have to sign.
Yeah, you have to be 18.
A form and everything, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm 18," and signed it off. They were looking at me like, "Dude, this fucker's not 18. Like this guy's fucking young." I think it was 16 actually. And same thing. The guys are like, "Hurry up, on delay." And I'm like,
they'll
"Bro,
talk
I speak
to you
English."
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they'll talk a lot of shit, but if you stay on the broncs, they'll shut their mouth real quick. So it's good. It's a good feeling when you ride broncs at the rodeos.
Charreria is a really nice sport, I guess.
¿Qué piensas? A ver.
No más, man. I mean, never thought I'd be on a podcast.
Me neither, dude.
You think I thought I was ever going to start one?
I knew you would. I've always seen that in you. You were.
No, te digo, fue de la nada when we started this shit.
Aparte de borracheras contigo, you always. Nah, just kidding.
I had zero interest.
And what happened?
No más. I saw a need for it. Honestly, it
is like I started seeing it. It is cool, like you interview like cool people, that like charros and stuff. Not, just because it's us, but I mean like the ones you've done, it's been, cool.
I like seeing that you integrate a lot of charros, and not only just charros, but people that support charreria, that have grown up in it. Charros mayores ya de...
Es que es la única manera que va a crecer esto. Yeah. Y no me refiero al podcast, me refiero a la charrería.
Yeah, la charrería.
That's the only way it's going to grow.
And I feel like it's getting better, I think, hopefully.
Did you guys see the post that I did on Instagram?
Which one?
with how many states Charreria's practicing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 26 now, not 25.
I think they even have one in Florida, no?
That's what I thought. I had heard a rumor.
I know that they had a coleadero this weekend in Florida, and I was like, I even looked up the address. I was like, where's this, you know?
There's a lienzo in Mississippi.
No way.
Yeah.
God. Hillbilly charreando, dude.
Cool, but
Little swamp people.
Mississippi is like, you know, but I mean, it's cool in a way, like, but I mean, it's like they have to know at least some sort of, you know, you just can't go and like not know nothing about charreria. Like,
I think they start with baby steps. They're not like...
No, well, yeah, but I mean, it's because people see like some people that don't really know what they're doing and they get a bad image of, like, you know, and I don't think that's cool. Like, you know, I'm not politics or nothing, but I mean...
No, pero pues eso se trata el podcast y Charro Talk in general is la educación de la charrería. Little by little, we'll start doing tutorials, but I mean, it's a lot of work, man. It's not easy. And
it's like... I mean, to be a charro, everybody just thinks, oh, you just, you know, you get dressed and no, man, it's like, it's a lot more than that. Like,
a lot of dedication.
Like at work, they'll call me like Cowboy George and they'll be like, hey, what do you do with your horses? Do you race them? And it's like, motherfucker, like, why would I race them? You know, my horses, like, oh, like, we see that you drop little baby cows by their tails. And it's like, nah, man, it's not like that. You know, you guys gotta come.
Go to Clásico.
Yeah, that's what I told. Like, you know, come to a big event, you know, and then you'll see. And they're like, all right, whatever. Or you know, I work with a lot of American, like, white guys. So they don't see it. But it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, I get the same thing. They're like, hey, but
you look white though.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you look white. So,
dude, I get that all the time. You're Mexican? What the hell?
Yeah, he's white. I mean, he looks white.
Well, I'm red right now, but
believe it or not, from this little town right here, where Avocado Heights, a lot of charros came out from this place. My grandpa had a lienzo right here. I don't know if you ever heard. He had a lienzo on Proctor. I think Don Chava Gonzalez mentioned it. My grandpa used to have a lienzo right here, and there was a lot of charreria. I mean, this was a really, like, you know, charro community right here. And now it's like, you know, it's a lot of people left. But, I mean, honestly, right now, I think there's only, like, maybe 2 charros left right here, and it's probably me and Andres Mota.
I was going to say, don't tell me your brother down the street.
No, me and Andres Mota are the only ones that probably do, you know, like.
So ya no se juntan toda la raza aquí?
No, remember in El Parque? Remember we would all hang out right there? Now it's nobody, man. Now it's just like a bunch of people that, you know, before it used to be cool because we would all go there like every like summer night. Right now we'd all be there. The Scamillas, the Garcias, you know. Now it's nobody, man. It sucks. Really? You know, I'm the only one that goes there now. So, I mean, like I'm saying, it does die out, you know. You got to keep it, you know, like a lot of people left to Riverside, Miraloma and stuff. Like my Uncle Chris Pedrosa. He grew up right here, and they used to call him, I remember, El Orgullo de la Puente, because he was really, you know, he really did do good in charreria, I guess. You know, he was charro completo and stuff, and he actually went in against, like, Nito Aceves and all them, and he, I think, even beat Nito, as of what I heard. He beat Nito in the Nacional out here or something, but, yeah, my Uncle Chris was a good charro, man, and that's, like, one of my idols. You know, I don't have idols in Mexico or none of that. Like my idols, my dad and my Uncle Chris, to be honest with you, you know, that's people that I look up to. And that, you know, but.
Dude, you were mentioning the charro completos against Nito. My dad was in a charro completo against, what's his name? Jorge Quiñones, dude. Yeah. I didn't know that, yeah. It was supposed to be in a finale and everything, but then I guess they didn't do it. But
we need to bring back those old school charro completos where it's like one against the other.
Oh, yeah.
And they would do tournament style. I thought that shit is
you see, that'd be cool, like stuff like that, you know. And
jineteaderos they should bring back, by the way.
Like, I've been in charro completo. You guys wouldn't believe it, but I've gotten in, dude, like twice.
Hey, the Yahoo completo.
Yeah. No.
I was about to bring that up.
I did go in that. No, I didn't go in that one. But
no, you didn't go into that one.
I didn't go in that one. But I did go in charro completo. The first year I went in, I really did practice, and I tried to do, you know, everything I could. And I actually made it to the second round. I put in like 160, I think, the first time. And then I went in the second time, and I didn't do bad, but I didn't do that good. And then I went in a second time, but that time I just went in like, I'm just going to go in. And it didn't go so well. But at least I'm being honest, you know. But
that's true.
I mean, you know, it's like.
The Yahoo thing was fun.
I think, yeah, the Yahoo completos were.
I was too young for that, dude. I wish I was in that.
Were you there when we let the pig loose inside the house?
No.
That was my idea too, dude. Damn, that was wild, dude. Yeah, they gave out a pig to third place winner. So I think my uncle Chris's team won third place, and he had a pig in his trailer, the pig. And they had the after party at Nelson Bañuelos' house from Triángulo de Oro. And I remember I went outside. I was like, fuck, I'm going to grab the pig and let it loose in the house. And I grabbed the pig and I let it loose inside the house. But, man, this charreria does, you meet a lot of people, like you said. You get a lot of friends and, it's cool, man. I think it's the best part of it.
Para los que no saben lo que fue el Yahoo completo, platícalo. Because Adrian didn't talk about it when we had him on the podcast. I actually forgot about it.
But, I mean, I wasn't a part of it, but it was like something wild, man, which I think was cool, to a point where like you would get more points if you took your hat off coleando.
And it was, tenías que tomarte una cerveza o un shot después de cada suerte.
Yeah, some shit like that. So you'd be faded. I turned out faded after the charreria. I wasn't even charreando. But it was cool, man. I mean, it was fun, something different.
I remember Chaca Miraloma was trash after cola.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. But I mean, that was fun. That was cool. Yahoo completo.
Damn. I think they veered away from it because they're trying to be a little more professional now.
It got too much. Everyone was too drunk.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, after every suerte.
Yeah, think about it. So, cada shot, cada pial a shot, and then cada cola a shot. That's already what? 7 shots?
Dude, no, I'm fucked.
Yeah, 7 shots. Before you're going to jinetear.
Mm-hmm.
So, imagine. Yeah, it was too much.
Wild.
I think that's why he didn't do it a third time.
Yeah, he made it 2 times, and it was fun. It was funny. I don't know, man.
I do remember that the first time I came here and I came to the park, porque donde yo vivía en Chicago, it would take me an hour 15, which is nothing in California. Pero allá en Chicago, manejar una hora is like, the
really?
Fuck? Yeah. Out there, an hour is like a long time. If you're from the city.
It takes me an hour to get home from work right here.
Exactly. Pero haz de cuenta que...
Takes you an hour?
Yeah.
Si vives en los suburbios donde están los ranchos, pues te queda todo como a 20, 30 minutos. But if you live in the city and you have to go all the way out to the burbs, it's an hour and a half. And city people aren't used to that.
That's from my house to Pico is an hour and a half.
Yeah. And I had never seen anything like that with like the equestrian park. And the first time I came here, I'm like, holy shit, this is like on a Tuesday. I'm like, this is fucking cool.
A lot of people trip out on it, man.
Everyone's riding and practicing. I'm like, in an American park. I remember the first time I'm like, somebody gonna call the cops on us?
Like right here. Yeah, I remember like right here, man. Like I said, a lot of charros came out of like, my grandpa had his lienzo, like I said, and that was like the place to be. Like, back then, I don't know. I wasn't even born yet, but I mean, my uncle Chris, my uncles, my uncle, they all tell me good stories, and I wish that lienzo still existed, maybe I could have turned out a little better charro, like manganeando and all that, I think families do need, I mean, if you come from a charro family, I think a lienzo would always be a good part, turn out, be a good charro. I mean, not a good charro, but, like, it helps. Like, right here, like, I don't practice, like, coleando. Like, I'll just go and work on my horses, because I got nowhere to go.
You don't remember how they used to, does Alex not do it anymore?
No, he doesn't. I don't know what they
got. They used to do on Friday nights, like $10 or something?
$10, but I don't know what happened. He doesn't do it no more. But that was, that's the only, and he actually has a really nice lienzo, Don Corral. He has a really good lienzo, and it sucks because it's right there. It's just a tease, you look over the wall of the park and it's like,
I was about to tell you, it's literally right behind.
Yeah, like
I'll work on my,
I
didn't even notice.
I'll work on my horse and I'm looking over and I'm like, damn, it sucks because you want to, and we've asked him, but he said he doesn't want like a responsibility of someone getting hurt there or something,
Yeah, it is a
which
liability.
I get it, but I mean, I do wish that we could do more stuff around here. Like right here, it's not like Mexico charros, they live off that over there, Over here, I see it, like it's different. Like right here, no tenemos apoyo del pueblo. Like this is not a pueblo, it's a city. Like right here, you charrear on a Sunday, and Monday morning you gotta wake up, go to work. There's no like, oh, let me wake up at 10 or more. Like no, you charrear on a Sunday, and at 3 a.m, I'm already getting up, mande crudo. I mean, or whatever, like you gotta go to work. It's not like, that's why I do like I respect the charros from Mexico because they are badass charros, Pero pues a mí la verdad un charro acá que pueda charrear un domingo y se levanta a trabajar el lunes to go to work. That's what I'm like, fuck, man. It's different. It really is, I don't know if people like that see it, like if other people see it like that, but I do, it's hard, it's hard for us. Like you got to go charrear in Bakersfield and then drive home and go to work the next day. It's like, damn, man, I don't think those guys could do that. I wish I would, let them have a shot at it. And that's why a lot of guys from Mexico, they'll bring them down here to charrear. And they're like, hell no, I don't want a part of this, man. Like, I don't want to work tomorrow after a charreada. And it doesn't work that way, you know? Like, right here, it's like, dude, you don't make a living off charreria right here. Like, charreria here is a hobby, you know? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in Mexico, you know, I respect all of them. All the charros, like, you know, they're badass. But I think it's different. Like, it's different, you know? I wish they could come over here and like, a year or a month, just try it out, like charrear on Sunday and then go to work tomorrow and see, like, you know.
That es lo que me había dicho Luis Miguel Rivera, que cuando estaba haciendo las palmas. He's like, he thought it was super boring. He's like, I didn't do anything all day because nobody could practice, and I'm used to practicing all day.
Exactly, dude.
He's like, there's nothing to do. Like, I had to wait till 5, 6 o'clock for everybody to practice, and it was only 2 hours. And to me, I'm used to like 4, 5, 6 hours practicing.
You know, I've gotten paid good money to charrear, but it's not nowhere near enough to like keep, you know, like
maybe if you're in high school,
yeah,
but,
like if you don't have bills and it's worth it, but like here it's really not, like, you know. So that's why I see it different, you know. And I like, it is one of like my pet peeves when charros from Mexico come over here, that they expect for you to let them borrow the best of what you got. Honestly, like, with all respect to those guys, like, they want you to give them the best horses, like your best, you know, like people that don't even have that much, but they'll give them anything, you know. And then you go to Mexico and they like, they don't even know who you are no more. Like, that thing, like, I mean, it bothers me, you know. It's like, that's messed up, you know. Like, you come over here and one guy has one horse, but that's his good horse and he lets you borrow it. And then you go to Mexico and they got tons of horses. They act like they don't know you. It's like, man, come on, dude. I don't think that's cool, you know. And this happened to me. Like, I remember they asked me once, and I don't want to say names. They asked me for my horse for Paso one time at Pico, and I told them no. Like, I'm not gonna let you borrow it. Not because I'm being mean or nothing, but like, no, like, you know. And I remember the guy that asked me, he's like, hey, you think you could let them borrow the horse? And I told that guy, if it's for you, if you're gonna do Paso, you could borrow the horse, but not them. And that's not me being rude. It's just me being, like, honest, you know. Like, I don't know that, yeah, you know. Like, I'm not, like, if I were to go there and I need a horse for Paso, they ain't gonna fucking give me the horse they're using. They're gonna, unsaddle that fucking arreando horse. Here, use that one, you know. And that's the way I see it. And I tell everybody straight out, like, I don't think that's fair, you know. I don't think that's cool.
It's so you say that because Guerito Franco told me the same thing when they were talking. He's like, sí, he notado eso. He's like, y sí, se ve que está gacho, que está mal de nosotros allá.
There's a little bit of people that will do it. Like, I've had, like, you know, my friend Pedro Bañuelos, when I went to go charrear, that guy gave me, like, he took all his horses, like, hey, whatever you want, you know. And it's different. Like, some other guys, they'll be here and they'll talk to you, and then you see them like a couple weeks later in Mexico, and they're like, who are you, you know? And like me, like, if you don't say hi to me, I'm not gonna go say hi to you. Like, I don't care, you know, whatever. But I just think it should be, I mean, like they say, it's a familia charra, and you said it a lot, like, on all your podcasts. Like, well, why can't it be like that when it comes to, like, you know, like, hey, let me borrow a horse out there or whatever. And, oh, yeah, well, that one colear is very good. Y boom, sale el toro y ahí te guacho, you know, the horse is fucking rearing up or whatever. Yeah. And then you look like a fool, you know, on TV. And then they think, like, man, these guys come Charreria Nacional and they suck. Like, no, we don't suck, but, like, you know, we're not, you know, like, if they were to come over here and people let them borrow their shitty animals, let's see how good they could do, you know? Yeah.
That's always a thing that if you pay attention, when teams from Mexico come here and they don't have all the horses that they want, they don't do shit.
Yeah.
And it's not to talk, you know, bad about them, but it's the same thing of us going over there. We don't have all the stuff we need, and we're not used to the lienzos. We're not used to, you know, and we get over there and we put in 200 points. They're like, people from California or people from USA suck. And it's like, we don't. We're just different circumstances.
Like in Nacional, when recently in Zacatecas, when I rode the mare, I remember we rode against Tres Potrillos, and we got there and we charreared and stuff. And when it was my turn to jinetear, like, everybody just walks away from you. Like, you know, unless you take your group of guys that helps you. If not, you're fucking apretalando by yourself, or you're going to come out of greñas. I don't, you know, like, and it sucks. Like, I don't think it should. And I remember because they were all there and they just, like, it was my turn to ride and they just all left. Luckily, I had guys that went with us and they helped. You know, I didn't, like, expect them to help me, but I mean, at least be like, hey, like, what do you need? You know, they come over here and everybody's like, you know,
kissing ass.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not, like, I'll never do that, you know, but it just sucks, you know. And luckily, like, I did a good ride, and I've done, luckily, in Tlajamulco. I mean, it was a third place ride, but I know a lot of people can't say, like, oh, I have a third place ride in Nacional or whatever. And actually, I have two of them in Tlajamulco and in Zacatecas, and I have two saddles, and you know, they're just there. But I mean, that's like, at least I could say, like, damn, man, I did two good rides at a Nacional, and that's something that now, you know, fuck, I remember.
So for rides at Nacionales, my first Nacional was in 2017. We went with Guadalupana de Pegueros. And I remember I put in 23 on the bull. And I jineteé gasa, but I didn't clean him. And my dad calls me, ¿Qué pendejo eres? Dejaste ir el primer lugar, but like agüitado. And I was like, what are you talking about? First place was 24, and there were so many 24s.
Oh, shit.
That it was first, second, and third was 24. And I was like, oh, my God.
It happens, though. I mean...
Same thing in Aguascalientes. The mare that I got,
that was good.
me la contaron de buena. You know, if you guys watch the video, calificanla, you know. But that mare, you know, she blew up. She fell down. I got up with her. No la limpié. And then I had someone, I forgot who it was, tell me, oh, si la hubieras limpiado, te hubiera salido de excelente. And I was like, how does that work?
But that's the thing. That's one thing I don't like. Como los tratan los jinetes is like, le echan todo el peso a ustedes, and it's like, but what about everybody else? This is a team sport.
Yeah.
Like, and then we had one jinete last year con Licea que you could tell he was a team player. Nunca le iba a los primeros lugares, but like with him, we always knew.
For sure.
We always knew for sure we had.
That's good. You see, as long as a rider's like a for sure, like,
yeah,
you know, staying on.
And he was a team player. He wasn't, nunca le iba a los primeros lugares. He was just like, he wanted to put his part in for the team.
That's the best rider.
15 points is always better than a 0-point ride. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, like right now they make you ride these mares, the big mares, Agasa. And that, I mean, they're big mares, dude. Agasa, dude, is like...
Some kid wrote once in a comment on one of the videos, he's like, del verijero. It's like, eso no es verijero mexicano. I'm like, pues ni la llevas mexicana, güey, es americana. A esas llevas, no le cabe un pretal de gasa.
Yeah.
You literally cannot put on a pretal de gasa on that. It doesn't fit.
And another thing with those mares are trained with that flank. So they'll stand in the chute and they'll let you apretalar.
It's true. Like these mares, like as a jinete now, these mares, I mean, I'd rather ride one of these mares that just stays there instead of like jumping out and like getting you hurt, you know. And it's true. Mikey told me, Mikey was all like, dude, like I bring these mares, but look, you guys aren't getting hurt. Like they won't run into the walls. And it's true. If you,
at least in the chute.
Yeah, in the chute, and in the, they really won't like come out like little brutas mares. They will crash into the wall, you know.
Oh no, they don't
and
crash.
Mikey's mares
but they buck.
They're trained and they buck, you know. That's their job. They're trained to buck, you know. And as a jinete, well, your job is stay on, or at least try to.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it's better. I think they should do that in nacionales and stuff. It's, in my opinion, you know, it's just and it shows that we take care of the animals and everything, and that's a big thing with Charreria here. We're always having
now it
with
is
that.
like with everything going on right now, it sucks, you know.
Well, they tried stopping it because of, you know, dropping mares. They tried stopping colas, you know. And it's always something to watch out for, is to take care of the animals, because, you know, you do see a lot of tournaments that they're putting in, you know, almost like ponies, dude, to ride, and I'm like 5'11", and it se me hace una vergüenza, you know, getting on one of those mares, and like, yeah, they're fun to ride, you know, you can poke and make them buck, but it just looks bad on the whole sport in its entirety.
Hey, look, it's not a good show for the audience either.
Yeah, no,
it's boring.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you get on a mare, or at least, well, I've always thought, like, if I ride a mare, like, I don't want her to just come out running, you know, like, buck, do something, you know, and it sucks sometimes, like.
It's the same thing with those small toros. It's boring to watch.
Yeah, like, if you ride a bull that colas and it comes out and it falls or whatever, it's done. Like, even people, that's why they make fun of, you know, charreria sometimes, like, in Mexico. Absolutely. Or, like, even the Americans, like, oh, riding little baby steers or whatever.
And they're not at fault for that.
No.
Well, I like that in Mexico they're putting in toros de reparo now, de 8 segundos.
That's cool, you know, that's something cool that they do. But Mikey brings good bulls too.
No, they're good. Cuando menos son de presencia.
Yeah.
You know, they're not little steers. And
like how we were talking earlier, like you can't put in the huge ones because nobody's ready for those bulls.
Or nobody will ride them, you know. Or,
you know, they're already complaining about the mares. Just, you know, let them put in some bulls like that and it would be over.
Okay, so but why do they actually complain? Because if you're like Gordo and you had that mentality, we're like, okay, I know I gotta. Well, you didn't work out, but you were doing instruction, so you're already getting that exercise. So you already put on a muscle. I'm assuming you're eating pretty good, and then you're also doing cardio. You're doing going that extra mile, literally. So then, if you're already prepared, then you shouldn't be scared if you think about it.
You don't get scared. I mean,
well, it's not really the jinetes that complain. There's some, but it's mostly the captains.
The team captain.
Oh, it's because you're gonna drop my jinete, and it's like, then why do you get that jinete? Don't you invest in something?
And I've seen Mikey, like, they always complain with Mikey, and it's funny because Mikey, like, he's like, dude, like, you know, it's my job. Like, this is what, you know. And I mean, you can't blame him, but I mean, if like I said, man, if you don't do this because you love it, like, you shouldn't be doing it at all. Like, you know, like, I mean, that's when someone gets hurt. Like, if you ride a mare and you're scared, just get off it, you know. Or they'll fall and they'll ask me, like, well, why'd I fall? Well, what were you thinking? Oh, well, that's your problem. Don't think. Just fucking stay on. And
eso fue lo primero que me dijo mi padrino la primera vez que me subí un becerro when I was like 6 years old. He's like, don't think, just react.
You know, just like if you stay there thinking, the longer you take, the more time you get to think about it. And it's like me. I mean, honestly, like, not just because it's me saying it, but like I don't get scared, you know. And it's like I love it. Like, I just love riding mares, you know. And that's one thing that I could say I was pretty good at it. So like I don't get scared of riding.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. So
do you think you don't get scared just because you've always been prepared for it?
No, because I just tell myself, like, she's not gonna drop you, you know. She's not gonna drop you, and that's what I tell myself. And there's been 2 mares that dropped me, and I have those counted.
I witnessed one.
And it's a Pinta in Wood Lake that everybody told me, don't ride her. It was a Güero Diaz's mare.
That was in McFarland.
Well, McFarland. Yeah, no, it was in Porterville. And it was recently when I was riding with Hacienda La Villa. It was a little mare, a little stud. And I remember that Georgie told me, like, hey, I brought a mare for you. But I would always get mad because he would always take me a mare that didn't really buck. So he's like, hey, I brought a mare for you. He's like, but you get mad because she don't buck, so just pick one. So I remember I asked, what's the best mare? And then Güero Diaz was like, it's that one. And I asked around, and Chicharra, you know Chicharra told me, no le subas, güey. He's all, because no es pa tumbarte. She doesn't bug. She spins like stupid, like, you know, no repara, güey. He's like, yo te quiero decir, no le subas. And I was like, I'll ride it. So I remember I got on her and she came out. And she had me more than I had her, dude. She wasn't bucking, dude. Like, I know I could have stayed on her, but she was just like spinning like like dumb, dude. Y la verdad, yo no me caí, me tumbó. Like, she dropped me, dude.
I was 21,
like,
right?
Yeah, I was 21. That's one.
Or 20.
And then there was another one in una de Pico también, una de Mikey, a black mare, que le subí con el pretal de grapa. And those mares, man, I don't know if you've ever seen them up close, but their backs the size of this table, dude. It's like
sitting on a couch.
Y la verdad le puse el pretal de grapa, el que te digo. And allí no te dejan echarle la muerte. Like, you have to take a wrap on your hand like a bull rope. And those mares, man, they're so strong, dude. They'll just take it out of your hand. Y la verdad se me aflojó el pretal, and I fell, dude. And ever since then, I was like, hell no, I'm not riding these with these. So now I ride those mares with the gasa. The times I've ridden them now, and it's Mikey's the other red one también, la cara de mula que tiene. She dropped me last year too.
What is that the one that Marro jumped to?
No, a red white face. But she dropped me at the circuito. And I remember we were there and Charrín got there. And he's like, ¿cuál llave me tocó? He asked the Mikey. And I remember Charrín saying, con que no me haga tocado esa. And it's the one I had got. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker just jinxed me right now. Sure enough, dude, le subí a gasa, dude. And Mikey told me, hey, she kicks. And I always talk shit. Me and Mikey get along very good. And I was like, man, fuck it, you know. Y sí salió la yegua. Y la verdad, she bugged, dude. That fucking mare, she bugged hard. And everybody tells me, like, people like try to talk down. I'm like, you're old already. Or like, you don't buck the same no more. I'm motherfucking already 30 years old,
no,
dude.
Of course you don't buck
you know,
the same
I'm 30
anymore.
years old, dude. I don't work out. And I drink beer every day after work, you know. And I'm not, like, I don't you know, like it's not my, you know, but I'll still ride any mare, man. Like if someone tells me you can't stay on her, I'll ride her for I could see myself, you know, whether I could or I can't.
Did you see that reel of the jinete in, I think it was Clásico, on a big Appaloosa?
Oh, the one that his hand pops out?
Yeah, the one that his hand pops out.
Martin.
Yeah. Dude, that freaking mare is huge.
And that kid. I mean, there's kids, man. Like that kid's one kid I could say that he rides. He's got heart. And he's got heart. That's what I always tell, and I'll tell everybody, man. Like if you want to ride, dude, all you got to have is heart and a big pair of balls, dude. Like if you ain't got either of those, you're done, dude. Like, you know, because if you ain't got heart, you don't believe in yourself. If you ain't got balls, you ain't gonna ride these fucking mares or anything. You know, that's the way I see it. One guy that I respect as a really good friend, and a guy that has like, he sucks, but he has a big pair of balls, and he's fucking
messed up.
We've been at Pico, and that's when I was riding. I wasn't riding with him, but he had his team, Charro de Los Angeles. My friend Momia, his jinete, twice, not just once, but 2 times se le rajó el jinete. And I remember, if Momia, if you hear this, Momia said, "Get the fuck out the way, I'll ride her." And he rode the mare, man. And it's been 2 times that I seen him do it, man. And that's one guy, man, that I could I respect him. You know, he was a captain, like the team, and he rode that mare, man. And not a lot of guys would do that, man, honestly. Like, you know, and I've seen Pepe Covarrubias también jinetear recently. And I mean, for me, like I said, Pepe and my Uncle Chris, they're like some of the really like good charros that I know, you know. And there's a lot of other ones, but those are, you know, and not a lot of guys would do that.
I think I saw Momia do it once with a bull, with a steer too.
I think it was that. He did it with the steer. I know he did it with the mare because I was there helping him, and I was like, "Dude, are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, all right." So, hold on, and then he did, man. He did it,
dude. That just reminded me of last Sunday at Circuito. This guy was helping me apretalar, and I'm already on the mare, you know. Ya me echaron la vuelta, and I'm going to sit up. Y grita, "Puerta!" And I'm like, "Oh, shit, hold on. Oh, all right, never mind." Me sacó un pedo este.
I don't know if you ever heard of my Uncle Sal, Pedrosa el Veneno. He was a really good jinete back in his days, pues, you know, and he had a really bad accident at Pico when they used to have the jaripeos for whoever the singers were. They would take Joan Sebastian and stuff. And I remember he told me a story that he got like a big metal plate in his face because he rode a bull. Forgot what boy was, El Diablo or something.
Is it that picture with the white Cebu?
Yeah, white Cebu. Yeah.
White gris?
Yeah.
¿O se le cae el sombrero?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Okay, now I know.
And the bull, I think, threw him forward. And my uncle told me that he showed up crudo that day. And that he told me, I showed up crudo and I was thinking too much. I shouldn't have rode that day. I kept taking my hands in and out of the pretal. And he was on there telling me, "Don't ride." And he told me, I was thinking too much. And that's what happened. I rode it. He was on, the bull threw me forward and broke my face. So he has a big metal plate in his face. And honestly, he was really one of the best jinetes for a while too, Veneno.
El Veneno, pedo.
I mean, that's why I'm very anti-drinking beforehand.
I won't, yeah, like that's one thing I tell, like, you know, like a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, you know, he drinks." But I mean, if you see me charreando or if I'm a rider, like I'll never drink, you know, before, or like, you know, I'll take a drink of a trago or something. But for me to like be drinking and stuff, like I won't do that. After that, you know, it's game on.
Yeah.
Not just kidding. But no, la verdad, sí, it's, you know, it is like, that is a discipline I have to myself. Like even my mom and my dad, like they'll tell me, "Hey, no estés tomando before." And I won't do it, you know, because like I don't feel the same. You won't function the same, you know. And I've seen people, like kids, I've seen a younger kid recently, like drinking before, and I even looked at him, I was like, "Dude, you're dumb. Like, what are you doing, you know? Like, if you can't do it when you're sober, why are you gonna do it right now, you know? Like, you gotta do this shit when you're sober, you know?"
Yeah, because you don't have the reflections.
Yeah, you don't function the same. And I mean, yeah, like if you gotta get drunk to do it, then this ain't for you, you know. Go fucking play golf or something.
That's what my dad told me. He's like, if you ever think you need a drink to get the guts to stay on, he's like, don't even get on. Just stop. Yeah. And I don't drink the day before I charrear. I don't drink a drop before. Until after, then it's game on, of course.
There's like whatever, but it's like before, it just delays all your responses. It's too dangerous to do that.
It's dumb, man. I mean, I drink, but after, you know, and
it really is crazy how second guessing can get you in more trouble than just reacting.
I think that's the number one thing that like people probably fall off because you're thinking too much. If you're there and you're thinking already, like taking your hands in and out, like you're done. Like me, once my hands are in, it's like I'm not gonna pull it. I'm out unless
she flips over.
She does something, like that I got to. But like once they're in, it's like let's go, hurry up. And you always want to get those points for, tiempo and all that. Like that's the one thing that I always tried. Sometimes you can't, but those tiempo points do get you, the first place buck or whatever, and it's like whatever.
I remember when I was with Guadalupana from like 2017 to 2019. That was the captain was always at practice, dude. Empieza el tiempo, córrele. And I put the verigero. I would always tie my own. The way you showed me, I would always tie it. I wouldn't let anyone else tie my verigero because I didn't trust anyone. I was like, dude, you're gonna leave it loose. You're either going to leave it loose or you're just going to not tie it right. And then it was always, hey, make sure you're quick and get out. That's a big one, actually.
Yeah, that's something I learned from Mona last year.
Mona's a really good. I like Mona's a good friend of mine, and that guy's he's wild and he's good. I think Mona's good jinete, and I like him, and we get along really, really well too. Because there's not many jinetes like him, like Isaac. Santi's a good, Charrin. There's not many out here. Mexico is probably a bunch of them, but not out here. That could ride and that's the thing. It's hard. That's why a lot of teams right now this year are struggling. Like they all hit me up like, hey, do you know anybody that could ride? And I'm like, dude, there really isn't many jinetes that would ride and stay on these mares, man. Like, it's not easy, It's not just fucking...
Tú que tienes trayectoria con gente de antaña, cuando antes se peleaban para jinetear. I remember that as a kid in Chicago. Like, the guys would actually, like, argue about who's going to buck the bull. And we're talking monster bulls back then. A lo mejor no reparaban así fuerte, pero 2, 3 sí, I mean... When the bulls are big, they're just strong.
You know who's one guy I looked up to? Looked up to and I thought was very good was Giovanni. From Chicago.
Ontiveros? Yeah.
Ontiveros.
Oh, he was a badass.
That's one guy that I would see his like videos and stuff, and I'm like, damn, this guy is fucking, he's badass, and he was always cool, and humble, and he would always like hit, like, well, I never met him in person. Not really. I don't think I've ever met him in person. Pero he would always comment on my shit, and I would always like, he was cool, and that's one guy that could say like, damn, this guy could ride,
Yeah, he was definitely, o sea, de mi época, he was probably hands down the best jinete.
Yeah, you see, that's one guy right there that I could say. And like right now, like, I don't know, it's just, there's not many no more.
I don't think you'll ever see Charros fighting over who gets the ride.
There isn't, there never has.
Maybe if we were on the same team without you.
I think we're going through a cycle transition right now, donde ya están metiendo ganado más grande y más presencia, and it's gonna basically have to force jinetes to step up.
Well, it's good. It's good. We need it.
That's the one reason why I want to have you on the podcast is like to influence these kids to like
kids now are just guys that just show up and they want to look good and they don't want to do nothing.
They want the Instagram
and
photo,
they just
dude.
want the, like, oh, I'm a charro. But like kids, they're like, I mean, it's like if you're going to do this, you got to start, like something small, not just show up, hey, I'm a jinete and show up to fucking Pico this weekend and ride one of those mares, like it ain't going to work that way.
Not recommended.
You know what I mean? And that's why, and they'll get scared. Like they ride one mare like that and they're done, dude. They're jinete. They're
scarred.
They're scarred for life. Their career's over before it even started. So that's why it's like, and everybody's told me like, now, like I still want to ride. Like right now, like I'm like, fuck, I want to ride still. But I think about it, I'm like, dude, I don't got to prove nothing. Like I've never had to prove nothing to nobody. I did it because I loved it, and I still do. But like, it's just, you get older, dude. You don't heal the same no more. Before I would fucking fall and bounce back up, dude. And paso, get ran over, and I'd get up. And I never did paso. Like back then, you wouldn't have to wear a vest for nothing, Yeah. So I always rode bull, mare. And I remember Adrian Covarrubias told me once I was gonna wear a vest for paso, and he's like, "Are you gonna wear a vest?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "What? You're planning on falling?" And I was like, damn, motherfucker's right. Yeah. So I took the vest off, and ever since then, I never wore a vest. Like, I was like, I ain't gonna fall. Like, why do I need a vest for, If you don't plan on falling, like, which, I mean, I don't plan on this, if you're gonna fall.
But it's a mentality.
Yeah, you put in your head, like, I'm not gonna fall. Like, why do I need this? And, I mean, now it is, like, I hate riding with the vest. When I ride mare, I can't stand it, but you have to now, Like, it's part of the...
They changed that when in 19?
Yeah.
No.
18.
No, it was
before that.
¿Cuándo fue en Tepic? Because what happened with Chingados. De Gala Monturas. Fuck.
Poppies?
Poppies. Remember how they lo descalificaron por no usar chaleco en Tepic in 17?
17 was...
Oh, yeah, because I were of this.
17 was the first year that you had to wear the chaleco.
Yeah.
And it was started at Nacional. Because they didn't do it first. I thought they did it at Nacional.
Oh, that's why.
Poppies was a good...
Yeah, because I remember, like, when I was with Hacienda del Valle in my first year with Guadalupana, I would never wear a vest. Same thing. It's like, I don't plan on falling, so...
I mean, you don't plan on it, but it happens
It's
sometimes.
just the dumb mentality, you know? It's a good... I think it's good that they make you wear it, so... Now.
Yeah, because the jinetes now aren't as prepared as they used to. I mean...
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's going to have to change, though. Because, like, what's going to happen without jinetes?
Well, it's because jinetes now, like, a lot of jinetes or captains now use the excuse, like, oh, we don't want to ride these mares because season hasn't even started and we're hurting the jinetes before it even starts. Which, I mean, I do get it. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, well, dude, this is fucking charreria. Like, this is what you do, you know? You're not going to...
It's like, so then, if you already know you're going to topar, which I'm not really a fan of that term.
I know, I kind of... dude, like, I see a bunch of people that put that, like, vamos a topar or topando or something, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Do you even, I've heard, like, the one team that was on the first year, I'm just like, do you guys even know what that means? Like, have you ever even been on a team that's averaging 300? Like, it's not exactly an easy feat to be.
No, dude.
A mí nomás me ha tocado dos equipos, and I was just tercero interna, so I don't even consider myself like
but
part of it, you know?
You've been around good. You know, that's what I tell people. Like, you could be a good charro on your own, but if you're not surrounded or in a team with other good people, you're never going to be like,
it's hard to get...
you know what I mean? It's like...
Pero eso es todo en la vida. I mean,
yeah, like if you like... Yeah, you're right. It's like who you surround yourself with or by, you know? It's like, you could be a good charro, but if you don't charrear with a good team, you're always gonna be like,
yeah, because if you're not with someone that challenges you, you're just always gonna stay down.
You know,
but I mean, like him hanging out with you, pues se tuvo que levantar.
Yeah.
He had no choice but to get better.
We would always have competitions between each other in tournaments. It was good.
Like jineteando, I just never thought nothing I'd ever, you know, be able to make a name for myself charreando, honestly. Like, I never, you know, I just charread with Pony, which now we had a good team, and Georgie's a good charro, and like I never imagined or whatever charreando with good guys like Borrado, Emilio, Pepe. Like, you know, I was the youngest one on the team, dude. Joel Flores, and I was charreando with them, you know, and that was like, for me, that was a big thing. Like, I remember I'd go charrear out of town, and my mom would always want to go, and I tell my mom, like, nah, you can't go.
As the boys.
And my mom would be mad. She's like, so I remember when I went to my first Nacional in Puebla in 2011, I went to my first Nacional with Rancho del Villar. And I remember my mom didn't go because I told her, nah, like, you can't go. I'm going, like, my first Nacional. And she was pissed. I think she, like, even cried probably. And I went.
The first time I went to Mexico was for Millonario in 2016, dude. And my mom was like, well, I can't make it, but you got to take care of yourself. And I was like, yeah, gotcha.
I remember my mom, when we left to Puebla, they picked me up. Joel Flores picked me up because we were leaving from TJ. So Joel Flores stopped by and picked me up. My mom walked me out, you know, my fucking luggage and everything, my little teddy bear. She's all like, no vayan a tirar party, eh? Joel goes, no, vamos a ir a tirar, vamos a ir a recogerlo. Dude, that was like that was like my first Nacional, and that was, well, all the Nacionales, you know how it is. All Nacionales are always, you know, and I've gone to a couple, and it's always been, you know, a good time.
I'm surprised your mom even told him that. Y luego, ¿a quién se lo dijo?
I know Joel, the worst guy, my padrino Joel, but
Joel's good people.
Yeah, so I've gone to a couple Nacionales, man, you know, and it's fun. It's been good times, you know, and it's getting, you know, I'm getting older, so I gotta enjoy the last of them. Hopefully this year, you know, we have a good team.
Dude, I hope we make it to Nacional this year.
I think everybody does, man. We have a good chance, you know, everybody. So
let's see. Well, let's end on a positive note.
Ya está, compa.
Well, I just want to thank you guys again por regalarnos su tiempo. I know you got to get up hella early for work.
Yeah, no hay pedo. That's why charreando sucks on a Sunday, dude. And then crudo on a Monday and wake up, go to work, man. It ain't easy, but...
All right, I got one last question. We'll try to make it quick. Do you guys think this can go at least semi-pro in the U.S.?
Charreria? I think it can. I think it's been close too, with what Pep is doing on his tournaments, with what you're doing with your podcast, I think this could be something, you know, as long as...
I think so too. It's I think we do have to get all together, all hands on deck. Not this guy said this guy said that. It has to all be cut the shit and all work together.
I've been starting to preach that more about positivity and starting to do
the envidias and never.
I will never fucking understand that shit. I will never.
And I've heard that on your podcast, and it is true, because I've been in a bola where, like, we'll be hanging out here, and then he'll leave. This guy said this about you, and you know, and it sucks. Like me, like, a lot of people know me. I talk a lot of shit, but like messing around, you know, and like I'll always, you know, like I'll mess around, but at the end of the day, I always tell you, hey man, like I'm just kidding, you know, we just get along like that. But there's some people que llevándose te dicen la verdad, like, you know, telling you little stuff here and there, like they mean the truth, you know. But I mean, I think this could go, you know, probably not my time now, because I'm already,
he's having a midlife crisis.
But maybe him or the younger kids, like my son and my nephews, we have a really big Charro family, like the Figueroas, Beto Figueroa, Miguel Figueroa. They're my cousins. They're married to my cousins, and they have, you know, their kids. So maybe in their lifetime they'll be able to, you know, Charreria will be something bigger than it is now, which is, you know, I think it's the best sport for me, you know.
Yeah, I don't see any other way besides being positive about it and starting to eliminate that whole ideology, because if it hasn't gotten us anywhere in the last 20 years, it's not going to improve anything in the next 30, you know.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to me.
So you don't think I'll go semi-pro?
No. What I'm saying is lo de las envidias. The negative mentality's got to end in order for us
this to evaluate or grow. But hopefully, man, you're doing this podcast thing ever since I saw it, or, you know, when you told me, you messaged me when I was in Zacatecas, and I told you you've always, you know, you've been a good friend or a good guy to me, you know.
Try.
And thanks for having us on, or having me, and having
Isaac,
you know, and I appreciate it.
No.
And
this guy couldn't believe that I drove down here just for this.
I really did.
I didn't either. I thought you had some other business. I thought we were
I really
side
thought
gig.
you came for something, you know. I thought,
man, that makes me feel important.
Nah, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bueno, con eso concluimos. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Where they can find you guys on Instagram before I forget.
I am Martinez 15.
Okay.
And I'm Gordo GP _433.
GP for grandpa.
Pretty much now.
Poor Gordo.
No, ya está. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, compa. Thank you, guys.